Hi folks, it's me again, and as you can see for my final appearance, I've taken off my CE costume to answer the question that I know all of you are asking. How did a respectable college professor like myself get mixed up with a guy like the Crimson Executioner? Well, it all began on a Friday night in June 2010 when I watched Bloody Pit of Horror for the first time on 100 Years of Monster Movies, which, as some of you may remember, was the predecessor to the Monster Channel. The host that night was Nigel Honeybone, who also makes a brief cameo appearance in the film, as you recently saw. Now, I had been a fan of horror movies since the age of 7. And over the decades, I had seen hundreds, maybe even thousands of movie villains. But never before had I seen a movie villain like the Crimson Executioner. It would not be an exaggeration to say that for me it was love at first sight. I had seen movie villains who were scarier than CE, but none who were campier. None who had a cooler costume. None who could match the enthusiasm of CE as he pranced around his torture chamber, hopping from one ingenious torture device to another with the gleeful look of a kid opening his presents on a Christmas morning. And certainly I'd never encountered a screen villain as talkative or as self-absorbed as the Crimson Executioner, constantly ranting about his perfect body, rubbing oil all over his perfect body, constantly referring to himself in the third person, and delivering some of the most hilarious and over-the-top lines that I had ever heard come out of the mouth of a movie villain. Lines such as, "The Crimson Executioner invented the torture of icy water for creatures like you." Well, I had just discovered 100 Years of Monster Movies, and I was looking for a screen name. Something I could use to go into that strange little box next to the movie screen and win some of their trivia prizes. And by the time the night was over, there was no doubt in my mind that the next time I visited that channel, it would be as the Crimson Executioner. And a short time later, I created a Facebook page for my alter ego, where you can find me today under the name Travis Crim. And the final step in my transformation into the Crimson Executioner came with the costume that my dear friend Laura Lady created for me. All I really wanted was something that I could wear around at horror conventions. But I have since discovered that that costume has opened new doors and created new opportunities that I could never have imagined. And since then, I've been on shows like Mansion of Mystery, formerly Crapix, Danvers Demented Features, and now Mistress Peace Theater. And now I even have my own action figure, making me a true pop culture icon. I think what really made me want to become the Crimson Executioner is that CE is the exact opposite of who I really am. CE is reclusive. I am sociable. CE is fearsome. I am mild-mannered. CE is selfish and thinks only of himself. I care deeply about other people. Back in high school, CE was the class jock who excelled in all the sports. I was the nerdy kid that the class jock wanted to sit behind when he was taking the tests. And I could go on. The point being that CE is everything that I'm not. And I'm everything that he's not. And yet, together, we somehow complete each other. You might say that he's the Mr. Hyde to my Dr. Jeffrey. Well, thanks for listening, folks, and enjoy the rest of the show.